Mad Lions is on blue for this game. Okay, cool. You know, that's actually one of the good things about it being not in studio is that they can actually just switch the graphics, and because normally like when you're playing blue side versus red side, you just sit at those stations the entire time, right? So you can be on blue side, you can be on the right side of the stage, but when it's all online, they can actually just change it up. Okay, so Lucian, Eve, both banned. I don't know if this is good. I feel like only one of those is necessary. You could just ban Lucian and then let them play Eve potentially. I think that's okay. But yeah. We have Lucian, Eve, GP, Kate, Lilia all banned. All right, let's see. I'll turn subscriber mode off right now.
Good job so far.
I'm not taking any praise for that.
For a little bit, you guys can enjoy some freedom. I'll probably resub mode it like 15 minutes, 20 minutes into the game, just to avoid spoilers.
I imagine that's going to be the Senna.
Okay, so Senna, Hecarim both picked. Dude, this is actually, they're literally just Fnatic or what? It feels like Rogue just scrimmed Fnatic a fuck ton or something. Because they're just playing Fnatic drafts. This is literally exactly how Fnatic drafted yesterday. Ash first pick, okay, into the Senna Hecarim. So what is the counter pick to this Hecarim going to be? Lilia is banned.
We're seeing a different Inspired.
Graves is actually a good matchup into Hecarim.
Looks like we might see a slightly different.
I feel like it's a good pick from Shadow here.
He does lock in this Graves.
All right.
Not really
I'm completely okay with this. Normally, like Ash Graves, I'm not huge of 1-2ing him, but I think here it makes a lot of sense.
I can see how it
and what are they going to take for mid lane? I think Humanoid could just take Orianna right here. See what he picks, but I mean Humanoid's really good Orianna player. It's up. I think it's definitely viable here.
So I'm not too surprised by it.
So here comes the Mordekaiser.
Not something we see Shadow on too often. In fact, I don't think we've seen it.
Okay, nope, Renekton. Renekton, Graves, like you're really AD heavy right now. I mean, I guess they're setting up because they need like an AP mid lane mage, so they're just gonna go for like Azir, Zoe, Orianna, whatever's left up there, Syndra, any of these picks. But I just feel like drafting this much AD is like kind of rough.
It's one of those champions that, hey, if you're gonna close
Rogue is fine.
It just makes things easier for him. He can provide a lot of peel. And if he does get access to the backline, he does have more than enough damage to shut them down. But Rogue gonna respond with the Shen for Finn in the top lane. Definitely think that this could be a pretty solid matchup. Obviously in the early game, you're not gonna get that same level of prio. But I think that thanks to this Spirit's Refuge, you can mitigate a lot of the damage that Renekton is able to dish out. And we'll see how Finn handles himself as we move into.
So LeBlanc is banned now.
I mean,
I don't even think LeBlanc would be that good here, honestly. But maybe they just respect Humanoid's LeBlanc. Because, like, if you go LeBlanc Graves, is that scary? Like, normally I feel like LeBlanc is better with things like set, things like Lee Sin. Combos where you can set up the jungler really well. Whereas, like, Graves doesn't actually provide any, like, extra, like, CC or as much insta-burst because it takes some range to get, like, it takes time to get close enough with Graves to actually do something. So, not sure if LeBlanc would have been the best pick for them. I feel like Mad Lions just probably wants Azir here. Yeah, Mad Lions banned Ori. I'm surprised by this. I mean, Larson is obviously a really good, and they banned Azir. So what do they want? They just want Zoe? Maybe they think Larson doesn't play Zoe and they just want Zoe. I don't know what else they would pick here.
And it can provide a lot of very effective.
Renekton mid? Won't be Renekton mid. Pretty sure it won't be Renekton mid.
That Norlis, yes, Norlis needs to be prioritized here because I think it would have been a perfect pick for the Mad Lions. Of course, their usual response here is the Leona. I think that Leona doesn't have the same level of peel that a Norlis can have when it goes up against dive. So we'll see how Mad Lions put. Maybe they'll choose to go for something like the Lulu, but I'm a little concerned about running Lulu into things like a Norlis, especially with a Hecarim on there as well. Can be good depending on the circumstances, but they're going to stick to the classic. They're going to stick to what they know.
I mean, I think it should be Zoe. I can't see it not being Zoe.
Pick a mid laner. Wouldn't be surprised to see something like a Zoe come
Ziggs?
out from
Ziggs blind?
right now. I think that
I wouldn't think that's that good. I feel like it's going to be Zoe, but maybe I'm wrong.
Like the Orianna and the Azir already banned out. I think that it can fit very nicely into this composition.
Syndra, I guess it could have been Syndra. I think Syndra doesn't work as well with the comp though. So
just having a look, I don't actually think
there's the Zoe pick. What does Larson want into the Zoe here? I mean, he has options.
It doesn't look like it's a pick that he has really utilized.
Play a lot of the champion. I mean, he could even go something frisky. He could pull out the Malzahar like Power of Evil.
I think in spring. But he just hasn't really picked up the champion since.
Or he could just go the Syndra, you know, the boring way. Syndra is fine into Zoe though. In LPL, you see a lot of Syndra into Zoe because obviously when Zoe R's forward, it means that she's guaranteed to go back to that same place. So a lot of Syndras are like willing to just play the skill side of it, where Zoe pokes forward with R, and then you walk up and you try to long range stun there. first R location.
The scary thing for Rogue is that it can be very easy for the Zoe to get
Live views have been really insightful and makes watching League even more enjoyable. Keep up the great work. Hey, thank you, man. Appreciate it.
So I think that Mad Lions
How do you play against carry junglers? What do you mean? As who? I mean, both junglers are technically carry junglers here, but a lot of playing against carry junglers is like just trying to minimize the amount of advantage like that they can get. So if they're champions that can like level 2 invade and things like that, taking both your buffs off the map, trying to farm, warding your entrances if you're weaker, and then just drafting, like in a pro game, it's about drafting enough priorities somewhere on the map. So if you have a jungler that is like really strong versus you, you need to have pressure in other lanes. Does Zoe's W ever produce QSS from a minion? I don't think QSS, but it produces cleanse. I don't think I've ever seen a Zoe get QSS. Dude, I was watching Rookie in LPL today, and Rookie actually got 2 redemptions by level 5 as Zoe. How crazy is that? How crazy is that RNG? That he's playing Zoe, and he dropped, and there's 2 redemptions dropped for him by level 5. What the fuck? How do you lose lane on that?
Subpar plays. Hey, I would love to cast golf. Yeah. Because that feels like a job where you can sit around, you can slowly sip your tea. Something happens, as long as you react to it in the next 5 minutes.
Still lost? Wait, didn't they win that game?
I don't watch.
No, they lost that game. No, that is true. That was the Cassidy game.
So I can't really comment.
Yeah, he lost it. Unlucky.
It's a bit of a slow early game.
If you guys ever want to know why you're stuck in Pislow and Rookie is the best player in the world? Oh shit, my timer's actually 10 seconds out. I thought it was going to be at 120. Whoops. I normally do like 115, 120 for timers on LPL because they go into games so much later. But here, I got timer now. But yeah, either way, point is this. Point is this. If you guys are stuck in Pislow and you guys play Zoe, it's because you're not RNGing enough redemptions. This should work for Mad Lions 100% of the time. They win this fight for sure. It's really dumb for Inspired to like be contesting this at all. He should have. So when they do this invade as a jungler, you should immediately try to go to wolves and start your wolves. If they continue trying to pressure you, obviously it's pretty bad. But then you just go raids. So you should immediately back off from blue to wolves and start it and see if you can like smite the wolves and take it because that'll give you level 2. And if that doesn't work, like if they move all the way into your wolves, you ditch the wolves and you go to raids.
Power on the grave to just bully the Hecarim out. Hecarim cannot really challenge you this early on.
Chinese raise. It's pretty insane.
Mad recognizing they have a very powerful 3-man unit. They can do the delayed invade, and now they've put Inspired a little bit behind. The question is, will Mad choose to split the map, or will Shadow look to immediately rotate over to his blue? You can see that there is a little ward sitting on top of the blue buff, so they will have information as to whether or not Inspired chooses to do that split map.
Dom stream, woohoo.
As a mid gank does happen, but not much is going to come off the back of that. The risk that they have is you'll notice in the top lane, the push is coming through from Arome. There was pressure being set up in the mid lane as well.
Not a boomer for calling them raids. It's just like, why would you ever... Well, actually, this is actually kind of a bad argument because the Gromp was originally called the White in Season 4. It was like a ghost called the White. So, I'd still call it Gromp now, but... Whatever.
How quickly can Inspired get
so weird to call it the White because like it was just a big raid.
There'll be a scuttle crab in just a few moments.
And there was already raids in the game back then.
Does have some camps to farm there.
The problem is he might not even get that scuttle crab because what we've often seen is bot lanes with their priority will actually rotate up and take the scuttle crab.
It's just a big ghost called the White.
I wouldn't be surprised to see Kazi and Kaiser rotate up, but you can see how aggressively Van is posturing, suggesting that a gank is on the way.
Hook lands onto Kaiser. He's just going to be able to back away on Summer and
Shadows, or Inspired's in actually pretty bad spot, and Shadow's pretty far ahead now. He's looking for double crab here. Looks like he can get it too.
And we said we wanted
Shadow's chilling right now, and he still has his whole red side up, by the way.
To put Inspired behind. Well, that is exactly what they're doing right now.
Yep. Very good early gameplay. Definitely a different look from
Elder
Shadow.
Lizard. Oh my god, how OP was Spirit of the Elder Lizard for jungle item? Jesus Christ.
I find it quite funny that
felt
Shadow
good.
just
Wait, Arome, did he need to E out there? I'm pretty sure he can win that trade. I don't know what his W cooldown was, but he had his Q up, I think. And he had Fury.
Rogue really can't do anything about it. Now, of course, that's not resulting in any significant gold discrepancies coming out on either side, but this will start to mount up. You can already see an XP difference between Shadow and Inspired, but those camps are going to respawn, and then Shadow's going to be able to pick those up much earlier and keep the pressure on Inspired pretty consistently during this early game.
Dude, it's gold. Come on, man. I still call them
delay the playmaking opportunities from Rogue, and ultimately try
just to me, like,
What we did
Aren't
just
the
see
Krugs
is
really just
Larson
still golems,
understanding
though?
that they have been set behind a little
Like,
bit
what's
in
the
jungle,
difference between a
actually
golem and a
pushing in here,
Krug?
getting a control ward in this bush, and then
Like, rock
a
monsters are
further ward
golems in,
on
like,
the
most
wolves to try and just track
games.
Shadow as
Wait,
much as possible.
Arome trolled here really hard. He
the
didn't have his
flash
E, and he
taunts
just walked
instead.
up and lost his flash for a Shen. He still had his
Arome
TP, he just needed to
flash
base
away,
and
but this gives
TP.
Inspired the opportunity
It's pretty grief
to
there,
do
I
some
think.
counter jungling of his own.
Yeah, they have information, and they're able to steal away some things, but now Mad looking for a play. TP as well.
Oh, that was
Oh, but he's
beautiful.
TPing bot. Wait, this
Oh,
is
that
really
was-
grief
we
for
need
his
to see a
lane.
replay
What
of
is
that.
this?
Vander actually stopped the
Arome
Zenith
hard
trade
griefed
with
this,
a
man.
hook so that then Kaiser was not
Oh
in
my
range
god,
to
and then he's just gonna
auto-attack
get
for the stun.
perma-canceled here?
Like that is next
He's just
level
gonna get canceled, and
Nautilus
look at his
play there.
lane
That's
top.
actually really impressive.
They also used the Curse of the Black
Wait, they didn't
Mist to
cancel him
deny
there. Holy
Arome
shit.
a target to actually dive on top
I feel like
of
they
him.
should have canceled him
Quickly
100%.
Pan up towards the
Throw a
top
W at
lane,
the bush.
assuming
Ooh.
no action's going to happen. Yeah, I believe this wave
So he
is now
loses his
bouncing
flash. The wave is
towards
pushing
Finn,
away from him.
which means that
He's playing
Arome's
Renekton for Shen.
dominance during the early
Now he's
lane
gonna have.
phase
Now
kinda
Renekton's
screwed
gonna
now
just
because
be in a bad
initially
position where
the
he's
Shen
not
took
even
an
level
early
6.
replay.
He's
We're
not
gonna
gonna be
get a
able to
look
even
back
fight the
for
Shen
If you can
1v1,
break this
and Shen's
one
gonna
So watch
have
this. Kaiser
ulti
is about to
advantage.
go in with the Zenith Blade, and usually he's a Nautilus here. It's actually quite difficult to do anything. He chucks out the hook, knocks airborne Kaiser, pushes him far enough
He started
away,
the TB after
but then
the thing
the
failed
shield
too.
of Daybreak, the stun can't connect.
It's a good
That
hook
is
from
actually
Vander,
just
though.
next level play there from
Oh
Vander.
my god, and
Gonna
then
try
he's
and get him
TB
away
again
to
with the
get
next
some
guy.
Black Mist. Humanoid
Alright,
coming
man.
in, has the Proto Belt stolen away, the flash from
Let
Hanzama
this
into
guy
the cleanse,
live.
but Humanoid continues to chase and gets first blood in the bottom lane.
Yeah,
Wow,
nice.
Mad were
Cool,
really
cool champ,
committed
man.
to killing
I really
Hanzama
enjoyed
and
how you
Vander
picked up
there,
2
and
flashes
They
there.
were able to make this
And you
one
still
more
didn't use
count.
your
Now
own,
Shadow
and you
is
have
on
an
the
extra
top side of
flash
the
that
map.
you're
We'll
sitting
run
on.
into Inspired.
Inspired doesn't have a huge amount of mana here. You can see with that devastating charge, he's actually run out of it completely, and now Finn is.
But man, imagine if
sometimes
Renekton was
with
6.
a not very
You'd actually be
healthy
able to do
horse.
something
However,
here.
Larson's on his
Larson's
way
moving
up, has
topside.
the
Graves has to be
unleashed
really
power.
careful.
And this
And they
side
know
could
Arome's no
breathe
flash.
A little bit for it. Shadow gonna go across to the blast cone. Larson realizing perhaps they're trying to collapse on him as here comes Humanoid once again. Larson
Shen can
gets
TP
the
on this.
knockback,
Shen can ult
has
this
to dodge away
if
from
they want.
Battlestar, but can't do it.
Looks like he
Flashes
didn't.
from the Sleepy Trouble Bubble, lands another spear, but Larson is
Shen ult,
chased
Shen ult.
down the barrier.
There it is.
Might be enough as Shen Ultimate, in fact, as the damage comes down and Shadow
Yep.
goes down.
I don't know.
I
That
was
flash from
wondering where
Shadow's
that
really,
barrier came.
really grief. Is he
In
just not
time
thinking
with the
about Shen ult
Stand
there, man? Like,
Yeah, really good
you gotta
ultimate
be
there
thinking
from
about that
Finn.
as a
Of course,
jungler.
he
It's
loses a
like
bit of
one of the
farm on
most
top
important
side
things in the
map, but
entire
that
game.
was worth it because Shadow
I don't know.
committed very hard to trying to get that kill, and it does not pay
you gotta
off.
be thinking about Shen ult there, man.
You can
Gotta
see
be
that
thinking about it.
Mad trying very desperately to force a lot of plays in the early game. They've committed 2 TPs towards bot. They heavily committed to an invade in the enemy jungle, and so far it's only resulted in 1 kill, but the goal is still very even. Rogue feeling very comfortable, especially now that Inspired is actually ahead in terms of farm.
He's picked up
Larson
his
holding
shield
ult for next
first
game.
item, not
I mean,
even
he's
completed the
holding
jungle
ult
item
until
yet.
Shadow just
Will
ints the
note
whole
that
time.
Rogue no longer have the global pressure of a
We
Shen.
lost
Doesn't
porn
have
to
teleports,
this.
only halfway
Come
on
on,
its
man.
cooldown.
There's
Stand
enough
United
porn
was
out there,
just
isn't
used,
there?
So if Mad are able to find a pick, find a
Arome
play,
called
they
that
know
he could
that
cancel
Finn
Shen
won't
ult.
be
No,
able
there's
to
no way
slow down.
Arome
And
called
of
he
course,
could
Arome
cancel Shen
can't
ult.
do it either
Arome
because
was
he
already
doesn't
moving
have
down.
anything available.
Arome was like
on
at
this
red buff,
Renekton.
so there's no
Continues
way
to
that
trade in the top lane
you can say that
against
he
Finn.
should have
Finn's
thought that
gonna use
Arome could
passive,
cancel.
Use the shielding, use the dash.
Like, Arome's
to
probably
keep Arome
communicating that
busy,
he's
keep him
moving,
at bay,
but
Arome
yeah,
is winning
it's
out
different.
on these trades. Still stacking up that cull. Let's look where we are in terms of items across the board. Kazi has a build water.
You're definitely seeing some mistakes from people playing on stage, just like
Hansama on his way
over-aggression,
to
things
the
like that.
Moon A, but is still quite a way away.
Shadow will be able to steal away that red buff, as the observers highlighted for us. First Drake is on the board. A bit of a late take, if I'm being honest, 8 minutes into the game. Typically, this is where you'll see Rogue actually swap and play for an early Herald, but Shadow kind of ahead of the curve here, going to look to solo this one out as mid is being pushed, and so is top lane. You can see on your minimap, going to draw your attention to the Senna that is slowly making her way towards this objective. But Zoe's acting as interference.
Don't sleep
trying
during
to
LPL,
stop
but good morning.
any
Hey,
Rogue
dude, I've been
members
up, I've been
interfering
grinding.
with the Graves solo take. So kind of recognizing what Rogue typically do and having a good answer. Ignite
Had a
comes down.
Shadow behind after that start because you saw what he did with the start,
Ignite
right?
from the passive as well. It wasn't even like
He
a
tried to
proper
play
ignite
aggressively,
there
he tried
from
to
Juno.
make
He's just
plays
trying to put a little bit more damage
while
down
Inspired
on the
just
top lane.
farmed.
Rift Ode is now secured, and Hansama might feel like he's on the wrong side.
Whereas, like,
of
I
the
feel
map.
like
the play
a
now
lot
is
of
to go
Graves
straight
players,
to
and maybe
Drake,
this is
I
why
think.
Graves you don't see that much of it
Know
in
where the
LEC, but
Rogue
Graves is
plays
really
are
about
on
just
top
getting
side
to your
of the
jungle
map,
item
have
as
a wave
fast as you
pushed
can.
in
Like,
bot.
just farming
You
till you
also
get your
have the
jungle
Rift
item, and then you
Herald.
can really do a lot on the map.
Right, but he's is actually just going to focus on...
But I think it's more about just getting every single crab and just farming your jungle item as fast as you can. And then once you get your warrior power spike, then you can really look for like one-shots and things like that.
With the information the Mad had, I feel like they could have just made that quick rotation.
I feel like they can still do it around now, actually. They've kept their bot lane down towards the bottom side of the map. Rome being very sneaky.
It's got one-way bot, but that's not really what changed it. It was more what Shadow did.
Trying to get himself away.
Even without the wave, he should still be ahead.
From the lane as well. Rome's actually going to stay around. Now he's spotted. And yeah, Vander and Hansam are like, oh, there he was all
looking good
along.
here, man.
Crocodiles you can bounce out from anywhere, Vedius. I've actually been playing a new game, an MMO.
I mean, if Rogue wins this, then they prove that they actually deserve to, you know, have their world spot. Whereas, like,
come from is the dive comes in the mid
oh
lane,
my
and it
god,
looks
the
like
push was so insane there.
Finn kind of collapse on him. Humanoid very
Finn has no
speedy,
flash.
more sparkles, but
Humanoid might be able to walk. Oh, he got ghosted on.
Well, no crocodiles in that play, but Rogue.
Yeah, a lot of people were speculating that Schalke might be better than Rogue right now. It's just that Rogue got the automatic spot. But if Rogue win this, then there's no argument about the 4 teams that are in Worlds. They clearly are the 4 best teams.
Mountain Drake, and it will give Rogue priority over the mid lane and a bit of safety as they look to secure this objective. And I think that, like, this is a missed opportunity for Mad, in my opinion. Like, it's not going to be the end of the world, of course, losing that first Drake. But I think that there was a window where, because they were resetting, because they were delayed, they were a little slow in terms of setting up for that objective. Rogue are going to take that one away. And again, gold's still very even. I feel like that, again, I don't kind of want to keep harping on about Mad, but they were so well set up in the early
Alcove
game to
gang,
keep
boys.
the pressure onto Inspires. But because of some of the decision-making and the plays that they ended up making, it feels like that Inspired hasn't really suffered from what could have been a massive early game deficit. So here we can see Inspired and Finn, good flash torn. The Senna ultimate comes through as well. Humanoid does burn his flash and he gets some of the bonus movement speed from his W, but unfortunately it's not quite enough to escape from the ghosted up Inspired and Finn that were able to run him down. Secure the
How many teams go to Worlds from EU? 4. Who's qualified for Worlds now? So China's done.
Finn is
it's
miles
LGD
behind Arome in terms of CS.
LGD, Suning,
down on this
Top,
Shen
and
has
JDG.
been moving around the map a
I
lot,
think
trying
in
to
Korea,
play with his
is Dragon X
team.
qualified now?
He is about 400. Well, sorry, about 800.
I don't know if
gold
Dragon
behind,
X is qualified.
So he's in a bit
Actually,
of a
I
deficit.
think they
Larsen's
have, so
still
it'd be
popping
what,
gold
Dragon
shots
X?
as expected on this Syndra. With the Eludens
Gen G, and then if
now
Damwon wins
complete,
Damwon?
and with Mountain Drake down, with Rifthold still being down,
has
you
Gen G
expect
qualified?
It's going to be a little while before either of these two teams try to force another fight.
Looks like it for now. They're just going to try
Only
to
Dragon X? So wait, Gen G hasn't qualified?
The Rift Herald is going to be running out soon.
Okay.
Shadow needs to
So
make a decision as to where he's going to invest. I think bot
I
lane
guess
will be the
if
play.
Damwon win, then Damwon qualify.
Passing towards
And then
that
Gen
side of
G
the
will
map.
be versus like
You'll notice
T1
that
in the
Finn
gauntlet.
recognizes he could be in some danger,
All
so
right.
he's going to disengage.
Yeah, we have to
hovering as
brush up
well.
more on Korea. We haven't
And
been watching
using the
much
Rift
Korea
Herald, they
because
can
we've been on
actually
it at the
just
same
take that
time
tower
as China, so
that'll be a lot more
yeah,
gold
I just had
into
to
the
pick
back
one,
pocket of Kazi,
and I picked
setting up
LPL
the
because I think
dash
it's a
for
better
success,
region.
Get that early Blade of the Ruin King completed. And then Mad can start looking for picks, start roaming around the map, utilizing this Ash Hour a little bit more.
I want to see that pick potential. You know, you have
And
the
then
arrow
from
into
NA,
collateral damage.
Worlds
It's
decided
so
it's
powerful
TSM
with the solar
FlyQuest
flare
TL.
as an initiation tool if you need it. Mad want to start to try and find some of these connections because for the moment they are 1 kill to 2 down and only a small gold lead ahead.
So I want to draw attention to the fact that Kazi did not immediately clear that wave. He actually waited for the next wave to arrive, and this is the basic concept in pro play of stacking a wave. Rather than hitting a tower with 1, he's now actually hitting a tower with 2, plus the Rift Held, making this push harder to stop. But Rogue
Kazi got flashed on here.
Humanoid has TP, so does Arome, and the engage comes in. You can see the damage already
This is
down
a
as
Rogue
Kazi's going to
dub.
fall, and Larsen could just open up straight onto Humanoid.
They have
Only
no
power
connection
being
for the
used,
Sash.
Humanoid just about able to survive, but Inspired's
Dead.
got a double
Oh,
kill,
man.
and there's the third as Humanoid falls. Arome in the midst of it
Humanoid's
all.
dead too. Damn, this
has
is
to
like,
retreat
this is
underneath this
brutal.
tower, and
It's
well,
crazy that they're
Mad
only
knew it
up-
was
or they're
coming,
even in
and
gold after this,
Rogue
but
didn't
still
care
think
at
it'll be
all.
fine.
They just totally
Larsen actually
destroy
missed
Mad
there,
in the bottom
unlucky.
lane.
Surprised that Larsen didn't actually get the stun there, but a really good force coming out from Rogue. The game plan was clear from Mad. Stack up
Yeah, I
the
mean, they have no
waves, use
protection
the
for
Rift
the
Held,
Ashe.
drop it
The
down,
Ashe has
get
to
all
play
that
really
money
far
onto
back.
Kazi,
It's going to be
and
Shenel
because he got a
combined
little too close
with
to the turret,
Hecarim.
Vanda saw his opportunity to force the engage. Notice
feel like
the Larsen
eventually
already on the way down as well. Flash
you're gonna
ultimate
need,
onto Kazi. The ultimate
least
already
from,
coming down onto Inspired, and here's that
from
dive
Mad Lion's
combo that
perspective,
can
I think
see
you have
with
to
the
drop
Shen,
the Lucian
Hecarim.
ban.
Kazi
Or
doesn't
just
even
ban
get
the
to
Lucian
move.
and then ban
Leona
Hecarim
not
because there's
providing
two
that
different
same
comps they're
heal
showing,
for
which
something like a
they're
Tara.
literally just doing what
Could. Meanwhile, on the top side, Larsen's able to get that kill out
yeah,
onto
they're
Humanoid,
literally just doing
and Rogue
what
just chasing
Fnatic
down
was
the
doing. So
stragglers.
they run
Really good
Shen with
engagement from
Hecarim,
Rogue.
and then they run
they're
Lucian
5
with Eve.
kills to
So
1.
you got to try to ban
and
out both those
Inspired
comps
is
if you don't
so
have an
big
answer.
now. Look at that.
And then
Second
Arome
highest
just has to not
damage in the
completely grief
game
his lane phase.
on that last fight. And at the start, we said, hey, Shadow seems to be more comfortable. He's getting this early lead. They stole away the blue. Mad Lions had all of this advantage.
How good is
And it's
Inspired?
just
I think he's
fallen
really
by
good.
the wayside. Rogue
I think in the
scaling.
regular
They
season he
have
was
power
probably
in
the
this
best
Syndra.
ever.
They have power in this
when
Heck
Self-Made
Room, and
was
they are
struggling,
looking
or when
to
Fnatic was
secure
struggling
their
and
spot
G2 was
in
struggling.
the
I also
finals
just don't think
weekend.
that
Of course,
Jaeger's
the
had
winner
that
of
great of a
this
split. I
series
think
plays
this is
up
probably like
against
the worst split he's
G2
had in a while.
next Saturday,
But
but
like,
also
when things matter, I would definitely
secures
still
a
think that
spot in
Self-Made
Worlds
and
groups. The loser of this is in
Self-Made
planes.
and
The winner goes to
Jaeger's would be
groups.
the best 2 junglers
And
in EU.
getting that extra time to prep, getting that extra time to boot camp can be so influential on a good Worlds run.
It certainly can be. Or the
Up
planes
60
buff
CS for
could
what?
come
I mean,
through.
yeah,
Oh,
I mean,
yeah,
Shadow
sure,
ulted
okay.
out of lane, right? Like,
That's
Shen
the
had to
interesting thing about Worlds.
I'm
ulti
gonna
out of
say,
lane
Veddy,
at times
I think
to
most
save his
teams would
teammates,
pick
but
going into groups
Oh,
rather
it
than
matters that
planes.
much.
They definitely would.
like, the
In
70
any case,
CS, it
still a
wasn't
long
like he got
series
70
left to
CS
go.
because he was
Rogue
laning
currently
like a god.
have the advantage with
You have
the
to watch what
1v
happened during
up,
the game.
but the game's still very
Got his
close.
flash burn, 1v1,
Rogue
and
found a
TP'd
very
bot.
good fight
Shen
there,
just
but you'll
ulted
notice
out of
the
lane
gold is still very
at times
even.
for his
Some
teammates.
big
He was
items
just giving
to come
CS.
through for Mad. They're going to be trading towers on the top side of the map, and of course, when we get to these fights, I do think the Rogue inherently have the advantage, but Mad have a lot of damage
Polish junglers
threats.
are just broken,
they
I
have
guess,
the
yeah.
Renekton to act as when
Fucking
Rogue
Pulse
dive
could
in,
go 'em.
he's going to have easy access onto these frontline targets, and if Mad can just play straight up front to back, I think that there are ways in which they can come back into this game. Arrow comes through.
Only hits onto Vander. Hansama using Curse of Blackness to try and get away. Inspire coming in from the side as well, but he's going to dive into a 4v1. Has to jump away. The Zenith plays the next. There's a Dawning Shadow for a bit of a shield. Shadow down to 200, but already Humanoid's got a kill. And now Mad can continue on the offensive. Larson coming in, though. He's going to get through the bush. Knocks the Scatter the Weak back. The Unleashed Power comes out onto Kazi, but look at Kazi. He's doing so much work.
Okay.
Almost kills Larson.
Good fight from Mad Lions.
And
Shen ult
survives
saves
Mad
Larson.
Lions with an incredible fight in the topside jungle.
All right.
Kind of a late
Good
Shen ult, but he
damage
had to
coming
get out of
from
range
Humanoid,
of
but
Rome,
not
I
quite
think.
get that kill on to Hansama.
So I guess it was good communication
EU
from Mad,
Ash was a
knowing
bit of a
that
meme, but I feel like
the
we've got
Shen
a
could be
couple of good
cancelled.
Ash players now. Kazi's positioning and execution of the Ash there was flawless. If it weren't for that Shen ultimate, Larson almost certainly
played
would have
good so far
died.
today
And
after
when we
last
get
week's
the replay
series.
up, we
Yeah,
can
I'd agree. I
highlight some
think
of
this is fine.
the missteps I feel that we actually got from both sides, because you'll notice here that Shadow half
Wait, they
commits
know
to
that
this
Shen-
engage
wait, what's
onto
Shen
Hansama.
ulti?
Actually
Shen
puts
is
him in a bit
ulti
of
for
a
this.
detrimental situation as he really fumbles the execution here.
Or when does Shen have ulti?
Inspired
I
comes
think
in,
the
looking to
cooldown is
shut him
bugged,
down,
right?
but then
Because he
Kaiser
ultied
comes
on
in with
top
the clutch,
of
flashes in, provides the
Larson
chain
here, didn't
CC,
he?
allows Man to get that initial kill. Then here we see that Vander's actually going to use his stopwatch, and that means that Larson doesn't
But I
have
saw
the
it,
body block.
maybe
He
not.
flashes in, takes that huge amount of damage from Humanoid rather, and that's what gives Kazi the opportunity
Oh, the ulti's
to
from right
actually
next to him.
rail
So I
onto
wonder if his
Larson,
ulti just came
preventing
up
the
or
Shen
what
from
happened
getting
there.
into the fight, and instead
Because if he had ulti the whole
forced
time,
use
it's
the
grief to
ultimate
hold it for
keep
so
his
long,
mid
but
laner alive. So
I'm not sure.
a couple small
just have
missteps
no
there
idea.
that Mad were actually able to take advantage of, and again,
You
huge
can't really
props to
tell the
both
replay, I
sports
think,
doing
was
everything
bugged.
they could.
Great play there from Mad. They are going to secure their second Rift Hold of the game. We'll note an Infernal Dragon went over to Rogue while all of that was happening. So they are on a clock. As you said earlier on, it is quite a late Dragon clock, 17 minutes. Looking at 26, 27 before we
They showed
really
it was
get
on
up
CD, but
towards
the CD they showed was
that,
way longer
Ocean
than
Soul,
what it
but
actually
we've
was.
already
There's
seen
no way
how
that it was on
powerful
like
Ocean
50-second
Soul
CD
can
when the
be.
replay started.
Across
So it
the
must have
course
just came
of
up, I
the
guess.
weekend. In terms of items, though, Kazi's finishes Blade of the Ruin King. Luden's now finished on Humanoid. He's got a needlessly large rod to back it up. Finn has completed his Titanic
everyone's top,
Hydra.
it's because
Still
Finn has been just grouping with his team.
76 CS behind
And
the
Roman's,
Renekton.
like Mad Lions has
Just
been
a-
playing
just a
4v5 essentially.
tad, just a small sum. It is but a scratch.
But it's fine now.
of a CS
Honestly, just
differential.
imagine how
It's
well,
like,
how
alright,
big of
my
a CS
job in
lead
this game
he
is
would have
to
had though if he played like
to
the top lane
Spirit
matchup
Refuge
really well.
stuff, and
He lost
to
his
walk.
flash 1v1 and then griefed the TP bot level 4. So imagine if that didn't
I
happen,
think that's what the
how
gold
far ahead
deficit is
Rome would
coming
be.
from right now.
Yeah.
That's why I think the gold gap is a little deceptive, because even though Rome is much farther ahead, I think that Finn can still offer a huge amount of value in these fights. Inspired has now just hit level 11, which is going to be huge because he's going to have that second point in his ultimate. And with the Trinity Force done, he's going to be a huge threat onto the backline. So I think these upcoming fights are going to be
Absolutely
very
insane.
intense. We can see right now Mad setting up
Mad needs a better
for
top.
Kazi to push in the bot wave. He's also going to have the Rift held.
I think that Arome is like fine. The more I watch Arome, the more I'm okay with him. He just is
At the
like,
moment, Larson without teleport
I think he's
on
good
this
for right
Cinder
now,
is in a side
but I
where
just
they
think he's
know
kind of limited.
he
team.
cannot
Like,
affect
I don't think he
this
can't
lane
play Camille.
at
Like
all.
obviously he played
Still up
Camille
there,
earlier
Mad
versus
Lions given free
Chalk,
range
and it was
to push
fine.
in. They will get
But
at
he's
least one
not
turret out of this. The Rift
like
will
he's
be
not
cut
somebody
for
who
a
you
second
want
charge.
playing Camille. Like
But
you want
Shelly is having a
Arome to
field
be
day.
on
Actually gonna get a
Ornn.
second
You want him
charge
to
in here as well,
play
'cause the
those types
sleep
of champions,
connects on
right?
Finn. Finn, you're napping on the job.
Ornn,
Get a good
Shen,
sleep schedule,
you want
my
him to
man.
play
You won't fall asleep
GP,
in the
like
middle
just
of a
weak
fight
side
like that
champions.
again.
And just don't pressure his lane. That's like half of being a really insane top laner. It's like being able to do that. He's literally the opposite of the shy. That's how I describe him.
And realizing there's not a huge number
He's
to
like
play for.
Impact, but like
A window
probably
if you
slightly
want
worse
to
than
try and
Impact. I don't know.
freeze
Tough to
some
say.
side lanes, maybe you want to try and pick up some extra farm. Unfortunately for Finn, he does have the Titanic Hydra, so it's a little harder for him to actually set up a freeze. Meanwhile, Syndra doesn't feel super comfortable after pushing in that top wave. We may actually see a Rome set up a freeze towards the top side of the map right now.
Rome is known as a good carry player from
goal
ERLs.
is.
Yeah, but that
They
doesn't
could
matter,
look
bro.
towards
There's a
playing
lot of players
now.
that are heralded as good
Let's have a look. He is
carry
fast.
players in ERLs, and then when they get to like the top level and they're laning against Bwipo and Wonder and Alfari and all these guys, they're no longer good carry players, right? We saw the same thing happen with Sakura, where everyone was like, dude, Sakura is the god of range tops. Like, this guy is like the Rise, Vladimir, Jace god. And then he plays versus these guys, and it's like, nope, never mind, put him on Ornn every game.
Top side jungle with Graves, who's going to hand over that blue buff to the Zoe, and then they're going to deny as much vision and maybe look to find a pick as Rogue is playing towards the bot side of the map.
Yeah, Rogue are playing towards this next Ocean Dragon. A minute 40 on it. They have a couple of control wards in their inventories that can
Who? Sakura?
those.
He is the top laner of SK and Spring.
On this bottom side river, and they're going to reset now and try and get some more. Larson pushes in the bottom wave. Unsummer catches in the mid, and Mad use that little chance here to get in towards this river and get some control.
Do you go Black Cleaver this game in center, or do you think lethality is better? I mean, it's up to you. I think that I personally am more of a fan of lethality because I don't think there's going to be that much armor on the enemy side, but there's an argument for both, right? Because Graves is going to have some armor. You're going to have a bunch of armor on Leona, obviously, and you probably have to hit both of them at some point. So some people like Cleaver for the health and CDR, and the armor pen is not bad in this game, I guess.
They can go toe-to-toe with some of the best that we have here in Europe. I still have some question marks around Shadow's performance. Like game 1, he wasn't exceptional. He got bullied a lot.
All right, so Mad Lions have to contest this dragon. I expect everyone to be there, and it's kind of late setup, honestly, for Mad Lions. I kind of wish they based like 30 seconds before this, so they were able to like all collapse this Drake. Maybe they had to stay on the map for certain item spikes, but I personally think that you want everyone to be here, like able to contest. You know, maybe like maybe not 30, maybe 10, 20 seconds earlier than this, so you're able to gain control.
This year, but so far both these teams have showcased some good stuff. Let's see as we set up now for the next Ocean Drake.
And it is Rogue who have total control.
I mean, in a team fight, Arome can still flash and like do a lot of damage to somebody, but
Finn is in the bottom lane. Teleport used.
He can also get one shot pretty hard
the battle, but inspired now
as well.
In the pit.
Like if he gets Syndra stun picked, or he gets like like ulted by Nautilus, if he's sitting on a flank, he can just insta die.
Shadow dives into the back of the pit, trying to get into that bush, but he's been spotted out. Finn. Now looking
it's been nothing but Ocean Salt all playoffs long. Yeah, it actually has been. That's so weird.
4,000 HP. Arome trying to dash forward. Paddle Star doesn't connect. Dragon resets. Mad once again. Looking for
like Arome is frontlining here, but he's not actually frontline. Actually, good poke from Rogue though. Really big that Leona gets chunked like this before the fight.
The Dragon looking for the smite fight. Shadow
Mad Lions needs to contest. And they're going really hard here onto Shadow, and they get the Dragon too. Really good start for Rogue to this fight.
Rogue, get the Dragon, get a kill, and get the hell out.
Yeah.
And Roma ends up dying as well.
For Mad to actually force any kind of fight. The double cleanse.
I guess Shadow flashed out on low HP.
It felt like that Mad were just going for the 50-50 on the Drake rather than committing to any sort of engage. Rogue ended up coming out on top, and while they are still at a gold deficit and lose that mid-tier 1, they're currently at 3 Drakes. So let's see. You can see that Kaiser's sitting in the back.
Mad one double Black Cleaver.
Doesn't use his ultimate just yet. Now it comes through to try and help steal away the Drake. But Inspired's able to just lock that one down at the very last second. Arome now
I don't know. I mean, it's just like, I don't know who wouldn't want the Black Cleaver, though. Sure, double Black Cleaver isn't good if you're applying it to like the same target in a team fight, right? But in this game, I don't think that Graves wants to not go Cleaver. And I don't know what else you would build on Renekton here. Like, I don't think you can go I don't think Triforce is that good here.
So on top of that,
you're kind of like stuck in that area, and like both champions want the CDR. I don't know, it's kind of hard.
He is a primary engage tool for Mad Lions, and if he can't find a flank position, he's kind of just chucking his.
Will there be a guest for the NA game today? Maybe we'll do it with Febby. Maybe we'll do it with Niski. Not sure.
To the week, you're just chunked out completely. Like, he doesn't even have gargoyles complete yet. He's only sitting on a Negatron cloak and a chain vest, so it's so difficult for Kaiser if that poke isn't hitting to really do too much more. Humanoid gets the unleashed power taken down onto him. Larson dived on as well as Finn comes in with a stand united, and there's a fight in the mid lane over not really too much. Kazi opening up the range's focus. The arrow connects, the solar flare doesn't, and Vander just about manages to flash across the wall. He will survive and no one dies.
So, a bit of a crazy skirmish in the mid lane. Well, I think just started.
I think Niski can. From what I've heard, I mean, he's done it before like a million times. Like, he was on so many co-streams of mine before, so
with so many members
don't really think that they should. Well, I mean, it would be really weird if he just wasn't allowed now. But maybe the stream is getting too big, who knows? We need less of you motherfuckers in here.
5,000
5,000 of you? Hey, I don't care which 5,000, but 5,000 of you just fucking leave. Right now. We got to make our stream die a little bit so Riot stops banning our guests and potentially gives me co-stream privileges back.
Still having that engage potential actually makes it a lot easier for Mad Lions to find a pick because they know Larson and Vanna can't escape if they get locked up.
Well, that's certainly true. But for now, Mad are not
No? You're just going to stay anyway? All right, whatever. It's fine then.
Farming up, looking for potential picks. Remember that a fight this early on
The
result in a
Peppo
Baron
leaves.
as well, but Mad is just going to be
God damn it.
stealing away these jungle
Wait, guys,
camps,
this is a
trying
joke. Hold on.
inspire
Stream's
away
got to
from
stay
getting
alive for a
more
couple more
gold.
months at least.
He's
We
still
got
in a really
worlds
good
coming
position.
up, guys.
Like,
We
he's
can't
got
be doing all this.
He has Trinity Force, like, the Hecarim is still going to do a lot of damage, and Larson is being funneled in a side lane. This is what we see Rogue do, right?
Pretty
They
much
are
all
so
my
good at
LEC
just saying,
guests
hey,
can no longer come
Larson
on,
between
is what
minutes 15 and 30, we're just going
we're
to give
getting
you a lot
messages
of
of.
The problem is he doesn't have teleport, which then he's also the wave clear.
Nope, okay, everyone Peppo leaves? Alright, well, rip.
And they're going to take this one away for free. Kaiser goes in.
There's the solar flare, Donny Shadow coming out, but Finn is there in time. Inspired's already down. As Shadow goes down, Kaiser able to get the stopwatch off. Kazi able to survive as well, and Larson late to the party.
Reasons why you can't just send your mid laner to a side lane. Like, it was so easy for Mad to just force that engage, especially without any cleanses available on Hans Armor.
Too late, I'm already
The
gone.
dive could come through, they
Yeah,
get
you
a quick
think you're
kill
gone,
onto
but
Inspired.
once you join the
They don't
IWDominate
convert it
stream,
into
you're
the
actually
tier 2
never
tower.
gone.
Larson was able to recall, get back into mid in time, and it will just be
You
a
see
kill
that
going in
120
favor of
gigabyte
Mad,
file
but
in your
Rogue have to
Riot
respect,
Games
like,
logs?
you can't just
Guess who
send
put it
Larson
there,
off to
man?
the side lane when you don't have
You didn't get it from
TP,
Riot. That's all I'm saying.
because things like this will happen.
Rogue might have to respect it, but they respectfully disagree with you right
Why
now.
can't
as it looks
LEC
like
come?
Larson's going to go down towards the bottom lane.
This is
I don't know,
fine.
man. New
Like, a
rule
situation
today,
like
I
this
guess.
is okay because he's just going to shove that out. The problem is if you, so, all right.
Show us, mate.
So
All right, so Rogue is actually chilling. This is the next piece of action, guys. Ocean Soul, 50 seconds. Rogue get it, they win the game. They're going to fight hard for it. They won the last fight anyway, even though they had a gold disadvantage. I think it really is going to be hard for Mad Lions to fight this too. They have to get a flank.
The wave is now going past this line.
It's pretty hard for them to just win front to back here.
Over this area of the map, it is no longer safe for him to overextend. So the
Hecarim is also like
problem with
pretty
that
damn
last
strong at this
play
point as
was
well.
that Syndra was pushing all the way past the line through the top side of the map that was usually here, which meant that there was not going to be enough time for him to be able to get back to base, so Mad could just push in through mid. Now you'll notice that this bot wave is safe for them to push
Mode for
because they
spoilers
have
yet or
control
nah?
over
Yeah,
the
we should
bot
probably do
side
it.
of the map. So, like, it's important that
It's
you
too close of a
utilize where
game.
you have pressure and respect it. And I think it was a good example here of, like, Finn can now push the wave because he knows his form. But he has Shen ultimate.
Shen ult uninspired here.
Inspired as well. He used the unstoppable onslaught to
Gets
try and
ulti
get away.
out.
Comes in. Kaiser diving onto the back line as Larson uses the unleashed
Oh,
power, but
this is
Kaiser's
actually
still
looking
there.
good for
Vanda's
Mad.
gonna get dived on by Shadow.
They didn't
Vanda
let
takes down
the
Kaiser. Shadow takes down
they didn't
Vanda.
let the
It's a
Hecarim
one-for-one
engage
trade,
with the
but
Shen
Mad
ult. They
Lions
just
have total
turned on
control
him
of the
first. They
river.
went
Dawning
first.
Shadow doesn't connect.
Respect for that.
Humanoid acting as a bodyguard right now.
Larson has no
trying to
TP
dive in.
either.
Larson actually
I
walked
think he was
away
trying to
from
heal
this
off fruit
fight
in the
and is now
jungle
slowly
from the
making
Ocean
his
Soul.
way back in there.
That's what it looked like to
Ignite's
me.
being used. Rogue
Inspired's walking
getting
in.
flanked. Arome is off towards
I guess
the
they're
top
just
side.
giving
They don't
now.
know about it. Kazi started up the dragon. It's
Maybe they just go
secured.
for mid turn
Shadow
instead.
takes it. Rogue now trying to use this time to get into the mid lane, but Humanoid's going to open up with some paddle stars, and they do a huge amount of damage, man.
I
Should
guess they're
just
out now.
disengages, but Humanoid has other ideas. He dives in, sleep
Ooh, that guy
lands
might be dead.
onto Finn. Shadow won the flank position,
Not yet.
and it looks
The thing is
like
that they get
Rogue
chased for
should
too
just
long.
Get out of this one.
Enemy team
So,
could potentially
Rogue
Baron.
do
Probably
not
won't happen
get
though.
the Ocean Soul.
Finn has
Good
TP.
fight that went in favor of Mad there. Kazi surviving with literally the smallest amount of HP.
Actually, pretty close
Oh,
game.
Humanoid.
Start the Baron off. Vanda has rejoined the fight. Kaiser's on his way.
Humanoid
Both
is
teams have a win
flanked
condition
here.
available.
Blast available for him, but he's knocked back to it. He gets.
Oh, I
gets
thought
over the wall.
Inspired
That's how that
canceled him.
works.
Wait, Shadow?
But they're on Shadow. Shadow's just dead
Oh,
here.
wow.
Gets
Okay,
one
that
shot by the
was not
Syndra.
good.
Shadow ends up just dying.
Now it's
here, and
all,
this could be a free
all
Baron going
Rogue.
For Rogue, they're 5 men strong. Finn TPs.
If they want to start Baron, their Baron damage is not great. Senna is pretty bad at doing Baron, so is Hecarim. Shen is not very good either. Syndra is just whatever.
I don't think Rogue is going to do it.
Syndra is like not bad, but it's no Cassio, Ryze, Azir, like any of these types of
They don't
champions.
have the quickest Baron.
Syndra is not bad, but yeah.
All right. We can talk about that a little bit later. Let's have a look at this initial fight. So first
Good arrow
things
here.
first, keep an eye on Larson in
Engage.
this fight and what he's able to do. Lands the stun onto Kazi, recognizes quickly, Q into
I wonder if there
ult,
was a way.
but the heal
Nah,
then
Inspired
comes
couldn't have
from
turned.
Kazi.
He would have just got
Kazi
one
just
shot.
barely survives,
Man, Larson
but
got his
Larson
ulti
is
there
able to
onto
use
Karzi, and
to
Karzi
fight for
lived
his
with like
team.
50
Van
HP.
isn't
It's
soaking
pretty damn
damage,
lucky.
Of course he dies, but if Kazi
Feel like he
dies
should have died there
this is
100%.
a one-team fight for Rogue, and they end up getting the Ocean Soul. Of course, because he lives, they're able to turn it around.
Hopefully
They
we
have
can,
better setup
well,
to
finally
be
we can
able
have
to
Rogue
go
versus
after the
TSM
Ocean
to see
Drake.
who's better.
They're able to
True.
deny that
Actually.
away from Rogue. So clutch
Well, it
stuff
depends.
coming out from Kazi.
Depends
Good
like what
heal
seeding
there.
they are, what
It was
pool
a
they
very
get
close
into.
fight that really could have swung in Rogue's favor.
And after it,
We can
saw
only
a
get it
little
if I
bit of
think Rogue win,
mispositioning
because I
once
assume
again
that
from Shadow.
TSM is not
3-3-1
going
on
to win
this Graves
LCS
had a
over TL.
Terrible lead
TL looks
seeing
better.
performance in game one. Seems to be stepping up just a little bit, but it's
Well,
a game of inches sometimes in games like this, and that was, again, as you said, an uncharacteristic mistake.
We've had a couple of mechanical errors coming out from Shadow, and there I think like Mad were a little split. Perhaps Shadow was setting up for a very deep flank, but then he ends up just getting collapsed on because no one is really there to assist him as Humanoid gets engaged on. And again, I think that could have been a
League
window
Rogue
where
versus
Rogue decided to
TSM
force the
scrims.
Baron. As you
Yeah.
said, maybe they were concerned.
See if they, let's see
because
10 games of them
their
playing against each
Baron's
other.
a little bit slow, so they don't take the risk. Instead, they reset on the map. They're going to look to play for the next Ocean Drake. And in the meantime, Mad have found an opportunity to be able to take this top tower.
I mean, if those teams actually played each other, though, I think it would be
1,000
really
goal
scary
between the
for
two teams. We are starting to see, you
for
know, those
TSM.
2-3 item AD
Inspired
pairs
is so
coming in
fucking
now,
good,
playing
and
the
Larson
Rune
is
King and
like
the Rune's complete for
the
Kazi.
type
He's
of mid
on his
laner
way
that I
to
think
an
will be hard for
Infinity Edge,
BRX
which will
to
just
really
make
roll over.
every single one of those shots rattle out the damage even more.
I just feel like Rogue kind of
On the other
matches
side,
up
Hans Summer has a
better
Black
everywhere
Cleaver,
besides for
an Edge
maybe
of Night,
top.
some
Maybe Broken Blade could do
protection
something
from
to
Humanoid
Finn.
and from the arrows, of course, and the Manamune fully stacked up. It's completed in its Mura mana form. Larson has now got himself a Void Staff. Just going to be putting so much DPS down into a Gargoyles, into the Merc Treads that we already see on Humanoid, that we see on Kaiser, into the double lockets that we are, double Aegis of protection that we are seeing from Arome and from Shadow. It is so powerful. Expect
That's
those
a
both to
smite
go,
gone.
of course, into the Death's Dance next item. Right now, Mad trying
Shadow
to gain
needs to
control
chill. I know that bubble
of the
landed,
jungle,
but
and Rogue is slowly
relax.
stepping in, slowly trying to regain vision in their own jungle, but
All right, so Dragon coming up in a minute 30. Rogue wants to fight every one of these. Now, it's really hard for Mad Lions because they actually have to just play better than them in every fight. This is why stacking Dragon is so important. Because Rogue gets a bunch of shots at the same exact fight, and a win for Mad Lions, if they win really hard, they could win the game off of it because they can get Baron and just end up in such a good situation on the map that they're probably just going to be okay. But if they don't end up like winning every single one of these fights, then Rogue will just win, right? Like if Rogue wins a close fight, then they just win the game because they get Ocean Soul. So it's always super rough being the team down Dragons in a situation like this. Also, sometimes you have to grief the fight in order to make sure that you get the Dragon. Like you're gonna have to just be put in a situation where Shadow has to like flash in, steal the Dragon, and just dies for it.
To be able to land poke
So it's pretty fucking
initially,
scary.
so that when you enter these fights, you have a health advantage.
Team's
which
in
is
a
why
better
these
position
two
at this
mid
point in the
laners
game.
are so
I would
very
say Rogue.
Oh, Shadow. Oh, Shadow, oh, Shadow, oh, Shadow, oh, Shadow, oh, Shadow, oh, no! Larson was spotted out, I'm not sure.
Wait,
How is he out of the
Larson
bush?
just
Finn
not
going
standing in the
forward,
bush
Shadow
there, or what
with the side,
happened?
but now it's actually
That
a
was
very
kinda
good fight for Rogue as Finn flashes in. Straight on to
Good stun
the
from Larson
damage,
protecting his
but
laner.
Unstoppable onto the back line as they look for the damage on a Rogue.
Okay.
Larson unleashes the power,
Larson
but
drops
Rogue
all
is
the damage
alive.
onto
Now he
Arome.
goes down. 2 kills down.
Kaiser should die
Snap ball
too.
as well as stun. The
Oh
scan of the
my
week
god,
from
it's
Larson was
damage
good
all
from
over the place.
Kazi.
Humanoid
Shadow
has to try to
Humanoid
pop
have
off
run
here.
For the wins.
But Karzi is low.
Looks like Humanoid.
Oh, that stun was so close to landing. And the hook from Vander. Okay, that's Soul.
Rogue
Should be Soul.
now turn their eyes to the Ocean Dragon, Kazi.
Shadow might have to
Blast
suicide to
cone
smite it,
over.
but should be
And
Soul.
the Ocean Dragon is not too happy about that. Shadow could
He probably has to
just
suicide here
steal
to
away.
smite it.
Quick draw, he's in. They put the ward down. Shadow makes himself known. They know he's there now. I'm not sure why he stepped out and he has to quick draw back across.
He has to
but he
give
has
it now.
smite. And Rogue do not go on Shadow. Look for it. Get the steal off. Make it work. He dodges away. It's got to be down to about 3,000 HP. Rogue still doing it.
Okay, his
Could
ult's
just
gonna be back
drag
up.
it out.
Are they just
Could
waiting for
drag it out. Just get it
Inspired?
out of
It's
the
not
pit.
here for a long time.
Guys, no, just stop. I think they should really just stop.
Well, they're not going to. Shadow dives in. He looks for it. He gets set.
Okay, he got it, but he dies. That
And
should be Baron for
swings
Rogue.
down the anchor in the end, but
I think they can
Shadow did
base
everything
and go to
he
Baron
could to
and
keep
start
Mad
it,
in
and
the
they should
game.
be okay.
That's why I think Rogue should have just stopped.
Yeah.
If they stopped hitting the Baron, they could have waited for Inspired to join, and then they would have been better set up to actually secure that Ocean Soul. Because they kept damaging it, it put it within damage threshold range for Shadow to be able to steal that one away. But observers, when we get the replay up, can you show us
Like,
what
that's
Shadow
still
can
good
see?
for
Does
Rogue.
he actually get
It's
vision
not like
of
Mad Lion
Larson?
steals
Because it
the
looked
soul
like
for
initially
themselves there. They
Larson
just deny it.
stepped out of the brush, and that actually gave him the
I mean, Rogue should
frame of
definitely get
mind to
control
make
over this
that quick
Baron.
sidestep
Still
in order
20
to
seconds on
avoid the
Shadow.
taunt from Finn. We'll see if we have an opportunity for this replay as Rogue is setting up for the Baron. Shadow is still dead.
All right, where's the get control? But yeah, it looks like they're going to start it in turn. They're going to try to turn with Hecarim Shuttle.
Really easy Baron call for Rogue. It's already down to 9,000 HP. Humanoid trying to do what he can, but doesn't
side steps there.
Bubble and Mad. You got to dive in. You got to do something soon. When Rome is teleported in, and Mad 4 members strong.
Yeah, they might just get Baron off this straight up.
4,000 HP and they go in.
Oh, they're just going straight onto the Ash. Rome still alive right now, but he dies to, I don't even know, maybe it's Ignite or Red Smite. My quality just went to 144p, so I can't really see, but he died to something. They can just go back on Dragon, I think. Zoe Poke is annoying, but they can probably go back on Baron here.
Kazi coming in. All the damage dealers for
Kazi no flash now as well.
These three guys could put
Does he have Death Dance already? I didn't think that Rome had Death Dance yet.
Looks more like a cat, as you can see.
Cleaver, because he went Cleaver Borg, so maybe it's Cleaver Borg and Death Dance.
Mad Lions whimpering.
Shadow's still
So
alive, though.
Shadow actually doesn't have Smite, and Inspired does here.
Very soon.
Can you get into the back of the pit? The blast cone's there, but Rogue has done such a good job. Oh, Shadow dives in way too early. Dodges back out with the Kaido damage. He's still alive. Kazi trying to put the damage down with the volley as well from the side, but the healing coming out from Hans Summer is just too much. Shadow onto the blast cone. Finn, you're going to dash across. He's already down.
Go in. Okay, good steal, or good secure. They comboed the Cinder damage with the Hecarim here. I like it. Larson flashes, one-shots Ash. I wonder if that will matter,
We've
though.
seen you die in this position before, and I'm sorry, your fate will be the same once again. This fight, I have to feel.
Like, I don't know if that's worth the Cinder Flash, because I don't know if they'll be able to capitalize on Kazi being dead for the extra 40 seconds, so it's like kind of what I'm worried about here.
To make sure that Shadow can't get away.
And it's Rogue that come out
Let's
on
see.
top in the fight once again. Beautifully played from Rogue. A lot of patience, noticing that rather than go for the 50-50, they just wait for Mad to overcommit and overextend, and they're able to walk away with the Baron. Larson, now, he doesn't realize that Kaiser's sitting in the brush. Kaiser not going to use his Hex Flash to dive on top of Larson. In fact, it's Rogue who's diving on top of Kaiser.
Okay, this Gromp is just angry.
Onslaught of Shadows.
Kaiser's picked here.
The lockup
I mean, there's two people dead. They know they can go hard here.
Solar player doesn't connect, and this might be two. It's Humanoid's going to get chased away.
Larson ended up taking the bubble, but then
the
cleansed it.
Shadow
Okay.
That's 2 quick kills to Rogue.
Well, they were able to do something. I think that Mad Lions just needed to chill until their people were up. Larson's huge here this game, dude. Grump is on crack. Hey, why you gotta say crack? Why's it gotta be on crack? It can't be on anything else? Could be on meth. Could be on something random.
On the day, Larson is having a stellar performance, and
Depth charge?
now it looks like Mad are going to get caught out again.
Knocked up in the jungle, Inspired. Pretty sure he didn't want to go that way, but the damage is unreal. Even through the QSS, Kazi is unable to survive. Now they have double cannons actually in this bottom lane. He's going to eat through these towers very quickly. Hans Summer obviously will help out just a little bit, and Larson with his empowered damage on
Larson
towers.
has had enough. Yeah, pretty much.
20 kills to 7.
I think this is endable.
I
mean, now that Kazi's dead, it's 35 seconds on him.
Shellacking Mad Lions here. And this team is looking much more like the team that we saw.
Yeah,
in the
Rogue
regular
always does
season
well into
in
Mad Lions, or
place.
at
They
least
are
recently has been
facing
doing really well into Mad Lions.
claim
Surprising.
on that finals weekend. They want
I feel like Mad Lions is better
versus
versus like
G2. They
the
want to
better
prove
teams.
that they are one of the
I
best
think Mad
teams
Lions
here in
does
Europe, and they
like much better versus G2
just to delete Mad Lions wherever
Rogue do,
they stand. Rogue
Yeah,
with
I
a
guess
dominant
some
win
team
in
styles
game 2.
are better into others.